Hey everyone, I'm Bradley. Welcome back to my channel, Portland Gentleman. On this channel, I do a lot of home brewing content, DIY, a lot of reviews, let's be honest, and I also do now some distillation. Keep in mind, all of this distillation I'm doing is, think of it like a artistic expression, meaning it's fake. Think Hollywood movie magic. I would never tempt to break the law. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a super simple and easy rum. This is as easy as it gets. It comes out pretty good, and it's a very good starter rum. I assure you of that. So hold on, we're going to get right into the video. Research it, mash it, boil it, ferment it, drink it, analyze it, share it. Home brewing is good. All right, let's throw together this rum wash. I'm starting with still spirits rum yeast. I got this stuff off of Amazon. I'm also using the dark spirit yeast nutrient as well as blackstrap molasses from Amazon as well. So I'm topping up with hot water, and the molasses, I actually kind of put that in a double boil with warm water so it would flow. I'm adding in about half of this gallon. I'm not going to mix in any other sort of adjunct or sugar, only water. When this stuff is hot, it pours really, really well. So I do recommend getting it warm, like 90 degrees, not crazy hot, but that's going to help everything combined much, much easier. It's kind of messy, kind of sticky. Just really stir the hell out of it. And at some point here, I'm going to transfer over to a cooler water as I begin to top this up to get to my pitching temp. All right, now it's time for yeast nutrient. I'm using the dark spirit, and it's measured capful by capful. I find this to be really useful and concise. Throwing in 2 caps for my quantity and gravity. And here we are stirring it in. Now this stuff does kind of foam up a little bit. I wish I knew why it did that. If someone could comment and let me know why it creates the foam, that'd be super helpful. Now I'm topping up with water to get to my final volume. This is cooler water. It's also helping to rinse stuff out. It's important, I think, to keep on stirring this stuff in to make sure it's all homogeneous and combined nicely. Right now we're taking a gravity reading with the Anton Par Easy Dense. This guy it's gotten really good with recent updates. So that's what I'm calling as my starting gravity. I'm happy with that. And temperature is probably slightly warmer in the vessel, but it cools down quickly in the little syringe. Now it's time to throw in that still spirits rum yeast and pitch it and stir it in really, really good. Then cover it with the lid, and I let this ferment in the closet for about 7 days, and it was done. All right, fermentation is complete. We're going to check my final gravity. Now, there's a lot of stuff in this molasses, so it's not going to ferment all the way out. But I did, I believe, get a pretty decent alcohol quantity, and you can see here, it's not totally dry, but for what's going on, I think this is acceptable. Now it's time to transfer this from my little fermenter. Again, I didn't ferment in the chamber. I just using it just to hold it in because it looks cool on video. And I'm putting in about 1.5 liters at a time is about the maximum capacity of the AirStill Pro. So just use a nice container measure. I'm also throwing in the still conditioner. I find this stuff works really good. I've done some crazy stuff and I've not had anything boil over. I've had it get close, so the still spirit still conditioner is really good. I also got that from Amazon. And there we are, totally full, tip top. Throw on the head of the unit and start plugging it in, and you are good to go. You throw on the little 4-shots collection thing. Super, super simple. Hit the power button. Remember to also put in the appropriate tip. I have the pot still tip in, and it is purple for pot still. That's how you know. Later in the video, I made some mistakes and ran it in reflux, but we'll get there. It didn't really matter. There is nothing in the column at this point as we're getting ready to run. There's no packing, no nothing. You can see the 4 shots, and this is indeed actual 4 shots because this is a stripping run we're doing, and just letting that collect. Once that starts running, it took about 40 minutes to heat up. Just let it roll, and there's just lots of dripping. A big part of tending a still, especially stripping runs, is just let it drip, have some fun, and enjoy it. And this thing does begin to run pretty quickly. It eventually is between drops and streams. I'm throwing on the alcometer just to get an idea of where the run kind of starts out. That's the best time I found useful for the Parrot is during stripping runs. Really helping me to learn exactly what's going on at what point in the process and where certain flavors might be occurring. It's really, like I said, really helped me a lot, being that I'm a novice as far as distillation goes. And to me, I find this just super relaxing. It's not really hands-on at this point. Just let it distill and do its thing. In this mode, it will not turn off on its own. And here we are towards the end. It starts to get this behavior where it runs and then it stops. And judging that, and also by the amount of alcohol coming out, that's how you know that you're getting near the end of the run. And here you can see that different types of volume or alcohol and stuff in solution mixing in. But we're towards the end. I got a nice amount collected from this wash. I'm really happy with it, and we're turning it off. And it's time now to see what I got and to start cleaning some stuff up in between washes. This is right around 50% alcohol-ish. I think that's great. This is what was on the bottom. Pretty cruddy, pretty nasty. I went straight into another run, so I just kind of hosed it out in my brewery sink here. A light scrub, literally seconds, and that's what was left. I ran it again, and everything was just fine. Now we're looking at one of the jars, the 2 jars that I came up with from both my stripping runs. We're combining those into the boiler, and we're going to take and proof these down. The AirStill Pro does call for 40% alcohol, no more. I've not tried it with more. It's probably not advised, but it's something I may do just because I like to live dangerously. Right now I'm using the Anton Par Proof app. Again, I'll leave some links for this guy, or you can find it at More Beer and on Amazon. That's about the proof we've got, which is too high. So now I'm just going to add in water a little bit at a time. I probably could have been more aggressive and just chucked a ton of water in. You know, more water is going to change heat up times, but really I don't think it's going to help, you know, or hurt things, I should say. I don't think it'll affect my final running. Throwing in the ceramic boil enhancers, those basically add nucleation sites and help stuff boil. I'm throwing in some conditioner. I don't think I need to, but I did it. If you guys know if I should or shouldn't, let me know. At this point, I don't think it's going to boil over. All right, it's time for the spirit run. Again, these aren't 4 shots truly. These are heads. That's about 25 mils, so keep that in mind. So I'm starting to collect into these smaller little jars or beakers, if you will, and just going through. The first one is usually junk from my opinion. It's high alcohol, but it's just not good. And at this point, I do start to taste it a little bit. Tasting spirit like this is really hard on your palate. I'm not used to it, but I was able to get a good taste and make some cuts. There's stuff I will do differently in the future. I definitely think I would have broken up the third and fourth one into a little bit more defined parts. And here I didn't. It's just one of those things that takes experience. Don't be afraid. You're still going to make a pretty decent drink, but here I am going into a larger one because I determined that it was time. So again, I think I left a little bit on the fourth one, but who's to say? So just let it collect and drip. This guy's running good. You'll notice I am in reflux mode. This mode it shouldn't be run this way. It will run. It will turn off at a certain temperature. It took me a minute to realize what I was doing. It should be in pot still mode, which would be purple. For whatever reason, I got excited. This is about 3 days later from the previous footage. So I just kind of, messed that up. But as you can see, I still made a considerable full quantity of spirit here. There's all my different cuts, and it's about time to think about blending it. I'm running this one out all the way just because I really want to, like I said, I'm still learning, and hopefully everyone is learning along with me. But there's lots of cuts to be made and lots of stuff to be tasted. Definitely wait overnight or a period of hours if you've been trying it along the way. You need to taste this with a very clear palate and ready, because you could honestly throw away a good amount of time, investment, and work if you misjudge these cuts. All right, starting here all the way at 2 and 3, I am undecided whether or not I like them. 3 has a good sweetness, but a little bit of a weird kind of chemically flavor. I can't put my mouth around or my head around. 4 is sweet and that chemically flavor is gone. Now all the way in through here, 5, 6, 7, 8, I like. Starting with 8, really good sweetness, tastes nice. If I go to 9, right here, starts to get something kind of funny starts in there as well. So, and then I like my 300 mils right here, nearly 300 mils of good clean rum right there. So we're gonna put in 5, 6, 7, 600 mils, and we're also going to put in 4. One last little taste test here. Also going to put 4 in there. That puts me just under 750 milliliters of a nice clean spirit that I like. There's obviously left up here 25 mils, and those would all be heads, plus everything down there. I think 4 I should have split, run into 3 a little bit longer. In the future, I'll probably collect more than 30 mils, probably go up to 40 or maybe even 50 mils, but that's a good place. Everything else over here to the right is just too low and funky. Honestly, by 11, I don't like it. Everything back here is just watery. All right, so with the alcohol meter right here, it's sitting right on about 70%. Not really sure if that's good or bad. I'm quite pleased with it. That's still relatively strong. Not quite as strong as I had hoped for. 70%, I don't know how many proof that is, but maybe 145 proof is what the Anton Par says. All right, so I apologize for some of the audio there. In that cutscene, I had to use my scratch audio, lost the main audio. So here it is. This is the finished rum. And I think this is, I don't remember the proof of this. I didn't write it down, and I should have. I did add some volume just to fill the jar. I've had some sips here and there. It's a nice, good, relatively clean rum. It's not the best rum, but it's definitely passable. This rum was mixing one key ingredient, and that is back set. Basically, you take a portion of that spent wash after you've run it through and save that. So I have a portion of back set I don't have any footage of sitting around in the closet right now. It's been there for a couple months so far. So the next run I will use back set. That's going to add some bacteria and other things and hopefully create a more complex spirit. Right now, this is still, like I said, I think it's about 140 proof. It's still too hot to drink. Maybe it's at 150. It's just too hot. So what I did was I took one of these very large pipettes. I got this guy off Amazon. It holds 25 mils. These are super cool. Again, some of you may laugh. I like to be precise, but basically you pull this up and it takes up liquid. So I used the pipette and I was able to pull out 25 mils of rum, and then I just cut it with 25 mils of cold water. And that brings us to this beautiful little sample of rum. It's still pretty hot, but at least I'm able to taste it, because the other stuff, man, I'm not sure who you are, but it's just too hot. But we'll give this one a smell. On the nose, you can smell the molasses. It has that kind of musty, rummy smell to it. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it smells good. There's also something else in there that's a little bit more funky than I would have thought. It's not bad, but it's just not super crisp and clean. It smells sweet, but not all that sweet. This recipe was really simple. I made literally enough for 2 runs in the AirStill Pro, and it just was like, it just worked. It's still hot. Now, when you taste it, it's all molasses, and it really shines. It's super sweet. It's actually, it'll get you drunk, that's for sure. It is quite hot. Like I said, maybe there's some a little more heads in here than I would have wanted in my cuts. But again, this is only the second time I've ever done cuts, and this is the first time I've ever made rum, so live and learn. I honestly think I should try this on some oak and see if that helps to mellow it out. It's something I definitely will be doing here in the future. I've got a whole video going on adding some wood into spirit once it's finished. You guys, stick around. My distilling content doesn't get a lot of views, but this is something that I'm also quite passionate about. The AirStill Pro is absolutely awesome. Huge thank you to Steel Spirits for supporting me with the AirStill Pro. Everything else in the video I bought out of my own pocket this time, even the yeast. Actually, the nutrient they did give me. So keep that in mind, but I'll link everything below. Remember, home distilling is good, and I'm gonna be back with another distilling video real soon.